So beautiful for me. And the people that had gone out, they're like, this is so therapeutic. And it's fucking free.
Yeah.
Well, the kayak isn't free, but. Hey, what's up? Welcome to Heal, Laugh, and Rise Up. I'm Jessie, your badass two-time cancer fighter, soul work mentor, and your favorite Latina.
Hi, and I'm Amber, a chemo nurse by day, caretaker to my husband by night, all while being a scrunchy mom.
We're here to talk all about our traumas and how we use them to grow, honey.
So grab your drink and let's get into today's miracle and shit show. Well, today I think we should talk about, so I kind of want to get into, you never told us why your journaling was so bad. Your diary
that's
story.
right. That was on the first little thing. Wow.
So 2 weeks ago, we talked about self-care.
Yes.
And I think journaling is a big part of it.
Definitely.
So maybe you can give us your little story, and then we can transition over and kind of talk about, that was very individualized. What do you do by yourself, self-care? Maybe we can talk about what have you done more in a group setting or to kind of build that village people talk about, especially for new moms. Like, we all see everyone's village online, and we have this perception of people having way more support than us, when I think in reality we don't have support. Even the people who might feel like, the people that we see has support, they have their mother-in-law, they have their sister, they have their neighbor, they have the same age kids with their best friends, stuff like that. You're thinking, oh man, like they have such a good village, I don't. Well, you're surviving, you have somewhat of a village, maybe you don't really realize. And then for the people who truly don't, like, how do we create that village? How do we feed ourselves to make ourselves feel more comfortable creating that village, so that by the time, 5 years from now, we don't have a village now, but I will have one. So kind of adding that group self-care, because that's still self-care. It's going to help you.
Yeah, and it's actually nice to have, even if it's two people. You start with two people that you just start sharing what you're going through. I see people on my social media maybe posting that they went through something, like before, let's say like 2 months ago I had to do this, and I just, nobody knew that I was suffering. And it's just, it makes me sad because not everybody is open to share. So I think to start a community of supporters starts within yourself, and being really truthful and honest with yourself. And we're not honest with ourselves for most of our life. We live this life with a outer shell that we just kind of hide in. But for me, and like you, we both talked about joining a support group online without talking. Just maybe you can go on Facebook and just put. My first support group was when I had my first I only had one, my hysterectomy. And I was reading everybody's comments and things about what they went through, and I didn't feel alone. The same thing with my cancer. Yeah. When I follow this one page on Instagram, which is kind of fun. It's a funny little page that I love. And they were talking about memory loss, so I felt, okay, I'm not alone.
Is it the cancer one I sent you?
Yeah, I love that. What's it called? The cancer patient?
I think it's the cancer patient.
Oh my God, on Instagram? Oh, yeah, I love that. Yeah, I remember my sister Myrna had said something like, oh my God, that's so fucked up, but it's funny. But it's like, yeah, we can laugh about this, at least with me personally.
You have to.
You have to.
We have to. It's the only silver lining sometimes is the fact that I laughed about it. Fuck me.
One of the things that I did do this year that I thought was really nice is scheduling purposely
your group calls.
My group calls.
Those were awesome.
Yes. And I feel like, hey, I'll bring along some more people. Who wants to start a group call? So what happened is I was connected to a friend through a friend who was going through some things, and she said, hey, why don't you talk to Yessie? She's, I don't know who the hell people might think I'm wise or what, but I don't know, maybe I'm this transitioning into helping people.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? When I was in junior high and I took the test of like what you wanted to be when you grow up, I wanted to be a counselor.
Oh, there you go. It's in your heart.
It's kind of like full circle almost how this is sending me there. But
because you're being like a peer a good peer.
I'm not above. Yeah. I'm not like a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I don't even have a college degree. Like I don't even know how I finished high school. Thanks to Lupe, who did all my homework.
Thank you, Maria. Shout out to the ones that did our homework.
Yes, we love you. But so what we started doing is scheduling. I created this group on WhatsApp, and I named it. What did I name it? Like Rising Up, or I don't know. No me acuerdo. But we scheduled once a week a Zoom call at 7 p.m. There was about 5 of us, and we just got real. And it was about talking about what you're going through.
You scheduled it knowing from the minute it starts, no small talk, we're going to be vulnerable and just talk it out.
Right away from the jump. And it got, the first call was...
The first ones are probably weird, huh?
It was very weird because not everybody knows each other extremely personal. But she's a friend of her who doesn't know my friend who's over here.
Yeah.
And then now we're all in this video. What? The first call got deep, like crying deep. Like people told their traumas, which opened up. And it was like, it was so therapeutic on all levels. Number one, to be someone to listen, purposely listen, intentionally listening, not like, I don't know, there's a lot of people that you have conversations with and you're having a deep conversation and you can tell they're not in tune.
Yeah.
Their brain is somewhere else.
Yeah, you can tell.
You can tell.
By the gaze in their eyes.
Yeah, I've had conversations with people and I said, oh, well, I'll tell you later because you're not paying attention. Yes, I am. I said, no, you're not. And not in a bad way. I'm not calling you out in a bad way, but your mind is not here.
And I've been there and it's really shitty.
It is really shitty when you're pouring out your heart and the other person is probably just looking at you and thinking about, oh my God.
But I think that's why it's really important to talk to a friend and be like, hey, I want to be able to do this mundane bullshit because mundane is great sometimes, especially when you are used to trauma. Mundane is really nice to have a normal fucking day. But knowing, hey, you know what? On the 15th, we're going to talk for about an hour, just clear your schedule, and we're not going to waste any small talk time because we can do that until the 15th. But I really feel like I need to open up and let it out with someone that I love and I trust, and I want to hear how you're doing and all the shit you're going through. So can we talk about that on the 15th at 7 p.m.?
Yeah.
I think it's really important to do that because, like you said, you're not calling them out in a bad way.
No.
It's just, I need to let this out. I feel comfortable letting it out to you, but you're not ready to hear it, but I need this. And at the same time, I think we've touched base on this. When I'm going through trauma, people are also going through trauma, but I have no idea because they don't tell me. Or you, right? Like, they don't tell us. And then we're just like, I wish I was there to help you through it because you were there for me.
Because then you feel guilty and shitty.
Yeah, it doesn't
like,
make it better.
She never told me. Like, this sucks. Well, maybe if I intentionally say, hey, and it's really hard when you're a mom because I've tried to do this with my best friends. I had sent them a text message and I said, hey, I'm doing this one group. Maybe we'll do a group with just us.
Yeah.
We can grab your drinks, your chips, your whatever. And but, you know, you got to put the kids to sleep. And then if you're a wife, but we have to really focus on the fact that we have to put ourselves first. And if one of the days you go to sleep a little bit later or your husband helps you putting the kids to sleep, it makes a difference because I've noticed with the group that I had created this year that everybody was really looking forward to meeting once a week.
Yeah.
And people were very open because we said whatever gets discussed here does not leave this room.
Yeah.
And in fact, if the next week you didn't come and it was me and Sally, you can't come to me and say, what was the group about?
No.
Because it had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's not.
If you want to know what I talked about, I can tell you personally what I talked about. I can't tell you what Sally talked about. And that was set.
Those rules are just known. These are the rules of how.
Yeah, and sometimes people, because, you know, somos chismosos.
Or I really do want to help them, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't make it. Then call them.
Yeah.
Go talk to them.
Yes.
And I think sometimes that feels shitty being told that. But when you're Sally or you're them, and someone comes and says, hey, you know, I missed Tuesday because I was busy with my daughter or my husband got sick or whatever, my dog, I had school, even if it's not even intense, like I was working. But I really wanted to hear the rest of your story, and I want to know if there's anything I can help you with. That means a lot. Someone coming to you, taking, you know, out of their way, going out of their way, coming and talking to me and being like, hey, I missed it, but you were on my mind, and I wanted to see if, was there anything I missed that I can help with. That is also really nice. So I think having that rule in, almost pushes us to be better too.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I think getting ourselves to be intentional and present is probably the first step, because none of us really are living in the moment. So you're just thinking of the future. I'm going to go on vacation next week. So you're just thinking about all the stuff you got to get done and do for your vacation, and you're not really being present. And there's a lot of exercises and things that you can do to learn how to be present. It is not easy. So doing group activities that you can label as, I wouldn't say counseling. How would you
I think
say
it's just self-care, but in a group setting,
self-care,
right?
There you go. Group self-care. Hey, next month, let's go on a hike.
Yeah, do something physical.
And we're going to talk about real problems. This hike is going to be about releasing whatever. And even if you just have to curse at your husband, and I have to pretend to be your husband just to let it out. Like, you know what I mean? These group self-healing. I used to go,
there was a friend who was going through a really hard time. I forgot about it till you said that right now. She was going through a really hard time. She's a very religious person, not like weird, hyper religious, but very religious in her roots. Like fresh out of high school, in college, I met her. And I feel like that part, when you're that age, you start like opening your eyes to the rest of the world and going like, I think I'm in a cult, but my whole family is, it's all I know. So I don't think it's a cult. Maybe I'm just rebelling. So she was in that phase of life.
The unknown.
And she would ask me, and then, me, I'm like, I'm religious, but I'm not strict in the same sense. So I'm open to religion, but I'm very free-spirited, always have been. So we were coworkers. She came to me and was like, hey, do you have time to go on a prayer hike?
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, I don't know what that is.
Oh my gosh.
And she's like, no, we're just going to hike. And then, we can talk about what we're going through. We can pray together if it's something specific throughout the hike.
Oh.
So, okay. So we used to go on prayer hikes a lot.
Oh, I love that. I want to go on a prayer hike.
Oh, it was great.
Oh, let's do it. Because really
all we did was talk. And then every now and then I would say something, let's say, I just applied to nursing school. I wonder if I'm going to get in. In the middle of that conversation, she would just stop and be like, I don't know it. When two people come together and pray, then, it's a witness to God stronger or something. I don't know. She would say, like, she explained it. And then so mid-conversation, she would just stop. We would keep walking, but we'd stop in conversation and she'd be like, oh, Lord, please, if nursing school is right for Amber, let's pray that works out for her. And then we would just keep talking. But she was very intentional.
Right, you're not talking about the Kardashians and right? You're talking about purposeful things.
Yeah, we're talking very in deep conversation. But to make her feel better, like it was my way of helping her soul was letting her pray throughout the entire hike. Yeah. Based on what we were talking about. And I just think that was really cool. So if you're, not to say if you're in a cult, but I think that was something good that came out of that for myself now I know I can just literally stop mid-conversation, add a little prayer, and keep going. It doesn't have to be the super structured situation. Yeah. But it was nice. We would schedule out hikes, and we called them prayer hikes.
I love that idea.
It was pretty cool.
I love that idea.
I think also we would go kayaking, find someone. For me, it's something physical. I want to be
outside also.
Outside, yes.
It's very important to be outside. I started kayaking 2 years ago for the first time ever. Inflatable kayak, nothing crazy, something I got on Amazon. And being out in the water with nature was probably one of the most therapeutic things I've ever really done in nature. And I jokingly had told Miriam, because I had taken Miriam one time, and she was talking about a relationship that she was going through a breakup, and we're just talking. I was telling her about this one book that I read, and we were just talking about things, and they're very deep. And I said, dang, I think I'm going to start kayaking, what did I call it? Counseling on the water. Yeah. And I said, let me ask you, if I charged you $25 to borrow my kayaks, I had 3 kayaks. I charged you $25 for 2 hours, and I would bring the kayak. I go Santa Fe Dam. I bring 2 beers and a bag of chips. That's what you get with your $25. And 2 hours of me and you kayaking and talking.
How long ago was that? That was 2 years ago. So inflation didn't hit yet.
And I was 25. And she goes, yes, definitely. And I had taken my sister Suhey and then other people that had gone, because I was like, I want to go out with people.
Were you charging all these people?
No, I should have. But something so simple that when we were done with the day, we were, number one, we were out in the sun.
Yeah.
We were exercising.
Yep.
We were talking intentionally. Mm-hmm. And it was like something that was so beautiful for me. And the people that had gone out, they're like, this is so therapeutic. And it's fucking free.
Yeah.
Well, the kayak isn't free, but...
Well, you owned it, so it's free for them.
Yeah, exactly. So that's one of the things that I've done that I want to get back to. So if anybody wants to go kayaking, let's go.
Yeah. We used to run in big groups.
We
We didn't necessarily talk.
No.
But we did get to talk after, because we'd go with craft runners sometimes, and then you'd run to a bar.
Oh, yeah.
And drink. And really, sometimes you did get into deep conversations because you're exhausted. And you already did the, hey, how you doing? What's up when you showed up?
Yeah, you already ran 4 miles and you're just like...
Now if you're going to talk, it's going to be something serious. So that was always really nice. Something that you've kind of turned me on to was you would do these group moon ceremonies.
Yeah, so I did this year for the first time ever. I did what it is like it's a sound journey. So a lot of people might know
meditation.
What a sound bath is. Yeah, so a sound bath is you get together with the group. You lay on the floor.
Outside.
Usually. It can be done inside. Usually outside. And
like in the woods with the cult.
Yeah. With the cult. So you lay on the ground and a person plays different instruments, flutes. Sound what are they called, sound bowls, which is just a bowl. It can be made out of different materials, and you hit it, and then with the mallet you go around and it makes like this vibrational sound. I've never done anything like this, and as I'm learning to reduce my anxiety, I've been doing a lot of research, and I'm like, this sounds pretty cool. And I have a great friend who does it.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the space is amazing. So I went for the first time with no expectations. And it is called a sound journey, not a sound bath, because the music and the sounds can literally take you on a journey.
That's awesome.
And
Now, is this related to like your chakras and stuff, or is it separate?
It is, but because I'm learning all this is all very new to me. I just know that certain frequencies and sounds can get you into a maybe deep meditative state and get you and get into your self-conscious, your deep-rooted thoughts that are tapadera. How you say tapadera? That have like a lid on, because you're trying to survive life, so you can't really get it down to those feelings.
Yeah.
But the music...
Well, I think you're right. It's the frequency that goes through your body.
Yes, and your heart, your brain, your soul, everything.
I was going to say, I don't know, I guess as like my nurse brain, I always try and go back to what's the science behind it.
Yeah, yes.
And I looked it up. The science behind these sound baths and sound journeys, it's the frequency, which is so fucking cool. I don't know anything about it. I didn't do that much research, but that little bit of knowledge that I picked up when I did do a little bit of research was like, there is science behind it. It's not just, some bullshit.
Well, I tell people we are frequency when you check your heart.
Oh yeah, everything.
How do you check your heart?
All of it.
It's all
frequencies.
They're like, oh, electronic. It's all electrical. Our bodies are this amazing work of art that we are. I can't even talk about it because it freaks me out knowing that we don't have batteries, but we are moving and that shit is moving.
Our heart is our
heart never stops. But I've done 3 this year, and they are, imagine if you know what a sound bath is, but it's a sound journey because it is going to transport you. There is a tea ceremony done before it, which...
You get high?
No, that's what I thought. I'm like, give me some mushrooms, like psychedelic tea. No, we sit together. It's just so beautiful, and everybody who comes, you can tell they're nervous. They don't want to open up, and we sit down and we talk about what are we going through, and it gets very deep.
Yeah.
And everybody's vulnerable. People actually open up. They cry. So you're already like opening up.
Yeah.
And after you sit there for about an hour and drinking these beautiful herbal teas that are full of all the goodness that God has to give us.
Like passion flower tea?
Yeah, and some things I can't even tell you because I had never heard these teas. But they're all natural. They don't have any psychedelic. You're not going to get high. It's not going to be bad for you.
But there's people that are also doing like, so passion flower tea. You don't get high when you drink it.
No.
But you could smoke it and it can be a hallucination.
Yeah, I've smoked it before, actually.
Oh.
No, not passion flower. I smoked the blue lotus flower.
Oh, okay.
Lotus. Yeah. Because it also has
stuff like that.
Euphoria, and I didn't feel high like marijuana because I do smoke marijuana. It gave me a feeling of calmness, and I have trouble sleeping because the medication that the doctor has me on takes away my sleep.
I got you.
So the sound bath.
That's something you can do as a group.
As a group, and going with someone who, even if you don't know, two people that go together that don't know, going to the unknown, I was really blown away by my journey and the journeys of the people that I went to that shared it with me. Some of my family members was really insane for someone to go and just have no expectations.
Yeah.
And my friend Troy says, if you fall asleep and relax, that's what your body needed.
That's awesome.
If you cry because somebody hurt you when you were 10 years old and all these emotions come out, that's also beautiful. If you went through the sound journey and you thought about your grandparents and the struggles that they went through to get you where you are now. So many things can happen in a sound journey. Maybe nothing happens, and that's okay. But this isn't
like we're going to get together and we're all going to drink ayahuasca.
No. A lot of people think that.
Okay.
So this particular moon ceremony, the reason why my friend wanted to tailor it around the moon, and I might be wrong, is because why not do a sound journey at night under the full moon?
Yeah, and honestly,
and people think it's religious. They're like, oh, well, I'm Catholic, or I'm this, I can't do this. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with religion.
I think also it puts it on the calendar. So you're going to do it once a month. Yes. Maybe sometimes you get 2 full moons. But it's going to be a set on the calendar. It's not going to get forgotten. I think that also helps.
Right.
I think that's really cool.
It's super cool. And the space is beautiful. And you do it at night. And, I mean...
You have things for mosquitoes or?
Oh, yeah. Spray yourself. Bring your blankets. The first one that we did in January, it was cold. So my friend Miriam had like a ski jacket, gloves.
Yes,
and I'm like,
girl.
Girl. We're in Long Beach. We're not in Big Bear. But
okay, so I do want to, I'll put a link for your friend Troy.
Yes.
He's still doing that.
Shout out to Troy. Yes, he does.
If you're in the Long Beach area, I'll put a link.
Once
you
a
can
month.
Look into it. I'll put his social media on there, and you guys can look into what he does as a group. You can go alone, join the group that's going, or go with a friend. Might feel less awkward, but do you, whatever you're comfortable in. It reminded me when you showed me about that in January, and then after everyone you've done. And I've spoke to Troy, so it's interesting because it reminded me of my Peru trip.
Yes,
where I was first. My eyes were first really opened up to these things. I had heard about them before because I was doing my own research. This is well before Michael.
Oh yeah.
But I was always kind of interested in this type of stuff. So
you didn't think when you were in Peru, you weren't thinking, oh my God, this is the devil. This is like, no.
No, but there was still those thoughts.
Right.
The way I was raised.
Yes.
Tarot cards, stuff like that's not allowed in the Catholic world. So that's the devil. No Ouija boards, no nothing. So it was I was a little on edge, but I think that's why it made me do the research. Because I wanted to know, is there things I'm allowed to do that's not like ungodly, that's going to help heal me?
Yeah. I mean, anything that is going to heal you in a pure way without malicious intentions and without you harming yourself, why wouldn't God want you to do this?
What the way I went about it was, did God put this here for me?
Okay.
And if it was something the devil put for me, well, then I don't want anything to do with it because I am religious. But sometimes I would think, I figured out pretty young, there's a lot out there that my family didn't expose me to, and not maliciously, that's just we didn't have that exposure. Business was a big part of it. Well, the way I do business now, I would always think, what else is out there that is not harmful to me that I can do? So Peru taught me a lot of it. I had a shaman come, and I did question, is a shaman like a witch, you know? And he did this whole ritual, and I joined in. You didn't have to. My host family brought a shaman in for them, and I got to join them, and it was really magical.
Wow.
There was no sound bath going on. It was other things we did, and it was so fucking cool. And it had to do with their agricultural timing. So when I was there, Everyone was thanking God and the earth for giving them the fruits and vegetables to live off of for the new season to come. Mm-hmm. So that was that ritual I got to join in on. It was really, really cool. My cousin's wife, I call her my aunt, but technically she's my second cousin's wife. She's from Lima. Mm-hmm. And this is, fast forward a couple of years. I'm not in Peru anymore. Fast forward a couple of years. Mike's accident happens. And they, I don't know if they were in, because she had thyroid cancer. Mm-hmm. And she went to Peru and did some stuff. Yeah. So I don't know if those timings line up. Like when I was in it deep with Mike, I kind of shut out the world. Yeah. I don't know her story. But I do know either she was there or she had someone she knew that was there do a sound bath for Michael. Oh, wow. And if I could find the YouTube, because she sent it to me via YouTube, for me to play, and I played it at his bedside into his ear every fucking day. Oh, that's amazing. After I received it. So if I can find that, I'll also put that in there just so you guys have an idea of what a sound bath is. Not necessarily that Yessie went to, but I will put what that is. And if I can't find it, then you guys can just look into Troy stuff. Look it up. But then I was kind of like thinking, I want another shaman type cleansing thing when I was here. So again, again, fast forward a little bit from Peru, but before Mike's accident, my best friend and I did just the two of us saw a shaman in downtown LA, which I'll put his link. He's now in Austin, Texas. Oh, is he? Yeah. So if you're in the Austin, Texas area, I will put his info. He did a lot of teaching and does those type of things, sound baths and different meditation rituals and things of getting the same frequencies. Yeah, you can do these things as groups. You can do these things as groups, and maybe if you're curious about it, you can find someone who knows a little bit more than you. I'm still learning, but I can teach someone who knows nothing about it. Yeah, and frequencies. It's just like last night. I was up all night listening to music, and I was in such a good mood because the music transports you. It really transports you. It's the frequencies. And that's a frequency. Everything, I think, could be helpful used as a tool. Yes. Not as that's going to fix me. Not your crutch. You're not going to do this so you can survive. You're going to do this so you can elevate yourself to the next frequency where you don't need this crutch anymore. Yeah. Or you're just, kind of just for maintenance. It's like therapy. Therapy's great. It's going to pull you out of survival mode. But it usually doesn't just stop. You might still do it from time to time, a little maintenance here and there, because we're still living. Time doesn't stop. Yeah. We're not just better. So I think it's, same thing with everything. It's just another tool. Yeah. And learning new tools is always fun and important. And if the tools that you're using now are not working, that's where I was. Switch it up. I had to switch it up. And so far, the things that I'm learning, I've also was reading a lot about Buddhism and like their teachings and like how to focus on not the bad but the good. And like some of these teachings, like I was so desperate, I will read anything to try to get me I was in such a dark place. But it's been very interesting and fun to learn new tools, and that doesn't mean I don't believe in God. He's the center of my life to the day he takes me home. And then maybe in another episode we can get into like some of the things that I did experience in the sound journey. I mean, I saw things that, and I wasn't like on drugs or anything. Like the music just really transported me to like a deeper level. And I feel like God speaks to me through different people, different ways, and that's one of the ways I hear God. Through this beautiful frequency that has been very healing for me, and being able to tap into parts of me that I didn't even know I had and existed has been beautiful. And I just sometimes wish everybody can start doing this, because we would all just be a little bit better, or deal with our trauma with a little bit more grace and love. Yes. So, honey, you and me are about to put on, what kind of music you want to listen to when we get off of this? Let's go do some reggae. Oh, let's go do some reggae. Week. Why don't you guys like, follow, share with your comadre, your tío, your cousin, your friend. Just hit that subscribe button. See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.